So this is kind of an impromptu video because I kind of just wanted to go over something that's been happening with my channel recently on YouTube. It's nothing dire, but I thought you guys might want to know. So a few weeks ago, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did, maybe even more, I did my video on Rattlesnake Jake. And so the idea behind that whole thing was I had been thinking for a very long time about how to basically dive into kind of like singular characters and have videos in the same way that I do dialogue dive, have singular videos kind of looking at kind of like one character and unpacking all the different kind of like cliches that go into that character, kind of like the formulaic pieces that everyone can use to make them, but also kind of the things that make them unique and interesting and how those things are transformed, right? And so that came in the form of the character crash course on Rattlesnake Jake. And that was actually one of the last videos I edited myself, because I think a little bit after that, I had actually gotten my video editor, who's been great so far, and I'm actually doing a Castlevania video, a Dracula video, a character crash course, and so hopefully that'll be done within the next few days. But I decided, you know what, I love Rattlesnake Jake so much, I have no idea if this video is going to get views, but screw it, I really want to do this, and the reception that I got from that video was really awesome. So many people, I think, just weren't interested in that very small character from that very niche, I don't want to say niche film, but a film that doesn't necessarily have kind of like the pomp and circumstance of some of the other fictions that I get into. But needless to say, I put out that video and, you know, I got like, I think like 600,000 views on it, right? And so there's a lot of stuff that goes on like behind the scenes that I think that a lot of you guys don't really know about, which is fine because I don't think that's really the point of the channel. But honest to God, the worst part about YouTube is dealing with the horrible auto copyright system and the content claims and all that kind of stuff, right? I typically don't like involving you all in that because, again, that's not what you come here for. But I do feel like at some point I do need to talk about it because it does impact the kind of content that you guys get, right? So the Rattlesnake Jake video was up for, I'm going to say 3 or 4 weeks, and luckily it did get like 500,000 views. And then I got a notification one day that Paramount had manually claimed that video. And so what that means is that it was not a automatic copyright from an algorithm. It means that someone from Paramount or a studio that Paramount hired went on YouTube, searched for content that they had copyright over, and then it manually claimed my video. So like a literal real person searched for my video to claim, right? And so what they did initially was that they just claimed it so that they got all the money from all the views. So I was making no money off of that, right? And then when the views started ramping down, right, then they just blocked the whole thing, blocked the whole dang video. So it would not generate any views or money. And the crappy part for me is that that video was actually sponsored by a company. And for a lot of times you have deals with companies about how many days a video can stay up, how many views it needs to get, right? And literally just by like the grace of God, I had already reached all my like commitments with the company. So like it didn't affect me that much. But it was the sheer fact that I had worked, you know, hours and hours and hours writing the script and doing research and finding clips and editing the whole thing myself, for it to just get taken down was, you know, pretty disheartening. And again, it's not the first time that I've dealt with this. I've dealt with this a ton over my years of doing YouTube, luckily less and less frequently because I've been able to manage how to kind of like, I don't want to say skirt the copyright system, but not have to deal with it as much. But I just let it be because I'm just like, you know what, screw it. I got my views and I kind of just accepted kind of like that mentality of they're just bigger and better than me, so I have to accept it, right? And so that actually pushed me to create the Dracula video. Because I'm like, you know, if my original character crash course was taken down, then I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do another character crash course, and I'm going to continue to do them, right? Not out of fear of copyright, because this is what I like to do, and I think this is the content that you guys like, right? I've made like 100 videos, and obviously every new video is more difficult to make than the last because I don't like treading over the same water, right? So I thought, you know, Dracula would be really cool. He is still a villain like Jake, but I think just like fundamentally different. And so I started working on that. So hopefully that doesn't get taken down. But the reason I wanted to make this video is because I told myself, you know what? if they manually claimed my original video, that means they would need to manually claim anything else that I do. So I'll just take the original video down, right? And then I'll just re-upload it. So that's what I did a few days ago, if not yesterday. And I re-uploaded it, I changed the name, I kept the same like thumbnail and everything, but the idea was like, there's no way that these same people are going to be, again, looking for Rango and Rattlesnake Jake videos in 2022, again. And lo and behold, the video got blocked this morning, probably about, I think, like an hour ago, which is insane to me. Because again, it means that someone like clocked into work and it was like 9:17 or something like that, and legitimately searched for my content or content like it and was like, yeah, we can claim this. So it's not even making money, it's just like straight up blocked. So that's why you guys can't watch it. And the reason I wanted to tell you guys about this is obviously it's things like this that keeps me from making content. It's things like this that doesn't allow me to put out videos, to be able to interact with you guys. And it's a huge reason why I made this second channel, so I can just be able to sit down and talk to you guys here more directly, because on my other channel, I don't want to say forced into, but my main avenue is content creation and interaction through other people's fictions, right? And if those other people decide fraudulently or otherwise to take down those videos, then I can't communicate with you, right? And so I'll mention it a little bit in the Dracula video, but I think there's a huge amount of support that does come from people who come here and the people who help me on Patreon. It is honestly like, there is no comparison between how valuable Patreon content is as far as like, or what you guys contribute to me versus YouTube. Like Patreon is consistent and it's knowable. Every single month I know what I'm gonna get. Versus YouTube could just be like, none of my videos make money, or they get claimed, or they get taken down, right? So I think that's what a lot of this video is about. It's like understanding that I want to be able to make content for you guys. I want to be able to interact with you guys. And it just sucks that a lot of the times I'm not going to be able to do that because companies will fraudulently claim content. And when I say fraudulently, let me explain a bit what I mean. On YouTube, you can use fair use, right? You have the fair use doctrine, which basically means if you significantly transform something, you can use it in your own videos, right? And so I make educational content, and significant transformation basically means, even though I'm going to probably butcher this, that it's not a substitute for the original, right? Like I put my own twist on it so that you can't simply watch my videos to be able to substitute or replicate the experience of watching like the full content, right? So I put my audio on things, I pause videos, I blur them, I put text on them, right? There's no way that you could get the full experience of Rango from watching my Rattlesnake Jake video, right? And so it's supposed to be protected under fair use. But to be able to actually prove that for companies that claim my videos fraudulently, I would need to take them to court. And I'm just a guy, so I'm not going to take them to court. So it's that kind of, I think, atmosphere that I think all of us have to have this expectation moving forward, that I will continue, as I've done for years, to try to put content out there, to try to make it in such a way that I don't have to deal with this. But the reality is, sadly, that being on YouTube as a content creator, you are the least valued part of the whole equation, right? It's always going to be the major companies are going to get, I think, favored first. And then it's YouTube, it's gonna protect itself first. And then you guys who are watching, you're technically the product. You pay for all, you know, Alphabet and Google and YouTube stuff. So then it's gonna be you guys, and then the content creators are last. But this is not going to dissuade me. I'm going to continue to try to make content. I'm going to continue to try to put out the Rattlesnake Jake video in some way. But I just wanted to give you guys an update and let you know that I'm not taking videos down. It's just that, you know, things can get kind of crappy on the YouTube end. But thank you all for sticking around. Again, I'll try to make more of these videos, kind of like behind the scenes stuff, and then ask your questions, anything you want to know. I do read a bunch of the comments. I think that comments are kind of like my way of being able to see you guys through the screen. And who knows, maybe I'll do some like live chats on here. I've never done that before. But just wanted to give this update. So thank you all for watching this far. It was a pleasure, and I'll talk to you all again soon.